Hey, what's going on YouTube? Nathan Olson here from yourcharisma.com, helping you create your brand your way. On this channel, we do a lot of social media marketing help as well as Instagram tips. So if you have not already subscribed, please subscribe. Today we're going to be going over website speed and how that could be affecting your Google ranking as well as your customer leads and sales. Stay tuned.
Audio Jungle.
Alright guys, welcome back. So today we're just going to be talking about website speed, just like the whole efficiency of your website. So when users come, especially in this day and age in the digital world, when users travel to a website, they're looking for speed, they're looking for instantaneous information, and they're looking for zero latency. So a lot of the problems that certain websites have, especially when they're very content heavy, that being images, videos, or other blog posts, the website itself can actually become over encumbered by the amount of information and the amount of users that are actually actively on that website. And that total amount of latency or the speed that is being reduced of your website can actually drastically impact your users as well as your community patients and or just their activity on your website. I definitely am a victim of this, as well as other people I know in almost anyone. If a website takes more than about 3 to 4 seconds to load, I'm very impatient, I'm frustrated, and I'm probably going to leave the website. No matter what content is there, no matter how good it is, I won't have ever even have seen any of the content because I'm just not going to take the time to take the extra 5 seconds to wait for the website to load. And that's just the day and age we live in. We want instantaneous information. We want fast connections. We want zero latency. When I'm scrolling through a website and the images are taking a while to upload, that's just a sign to me that there might not be something too good with this website, or the users might not understand. I understand that they might not have the tools necessary in order to create a faster website, but that slow website really diminishes my value of the company. And it's not their fault. It's not their problem. They might not have known that their website is slow, or they might not know how to fix that. But me as the user, I take notice to that. I'm especially, you guys probably notice this as well. When a website does take long, you're not patient. You're not gonna sit around and wait for the content. You're not gonna do any of that stuff, because we are just impatient as a society now, because things are so instantaneous, because things are so fast. Our smartphones, our desktops, our laptops, everything is interconnected. We can take a address from almost across the world, get it sent through a message, an iMessage, send it up to Maps, and have a route literally within 5 minutes. And that's just a crazy amount of information that can be passed along in such a large scale network that is the internet. And speed is the name of the game. Every second counts. So today we're just going to be going over some helpful tips that you guys can utilize on your websites in order to increase efficiency as well as speed. So of course, for those that are very content heavy, the biggest things that are going to slow down your website: images, videos, huge text files. Those are just like 3 big things that I noticed when I first started doing SEO as well as website development. Those are the things that take up a vast amount of memory and a vast amount of loading speed, especially when we have these cameras and or video equipment that shoots in 4K or very, very high resolution. There's a lot of data that is compressed in those images as well as videos, and it takes a lot of memory, a lot of RAM, just to pull those images up and display them in the way that you have taken the picture. And that just in itself will reduce your website speed exponentially. So what I do on almost all of my WordPress sites, I utilize a image compressor, I utilize a video compressor, and I also use caching services. And we're just going to go over what those actually do. So image and video compressors are very, very useful. There are a lot of plugins on WordPress, especially because the community is so active, and they're free, best of all. But what I like to use Kraken.io. That's an off WordPress web interface that you can actually just upload zip files to it, and it'll compress all the images with zero loss in quality. So that's just super, super efficient, super easy to use. I definitely recommend it. It's online anywhere. It doesn't matter what operating system you're using. It'll just download a zip file to your computer. You unload it onto your website, and boom, you're done. It will actually reduce I think when it's free, you get 1 megabyte max file upload, which is a pretty big file per image. So you can actually reduce those. I've seen a 900, I think it's 900 kilobyte all the way down to, it'll break it down to like a 200 kilobyte with zero loss in quality, and that will just speed up your website like crazy. And when we talk about caching services, so caching plugins are also something that you're going to want to implement on your WordPress website, because caching essentially just takes copied information and displays it in an easier way for multiple users. So instead of constantly having your operating system or the user's operating system go and retrieving that information constantly, it will actually just be displayed in a copy very close to everyone, so everyone can just see the copy continuously without it having to constantly retrieve and use up data just to go into those folders and files all the way down and dig up all the JavaScript information. Another big thing that a lot of people do, especially if you are very active and a very large influencer in the blogging community, images are almost always hot linked. People always steal images from one website to another, but there's a difference between, I don't want to say stealing, you should always give credit to where you get the images to, but there's a difference between saving the image, downloading it, compressing it, and uploading it as your own image onto your website, and then there's hot linking. So hot linking essentially is someone that is retrieving that image from your website and just displaying it on theirs without them having to utilize any type of memory or bandwidth to display that information. So they're essentially just scraping your websites for content just to display on their own. You get zero traffic, you get over encumbered server loads, and it's just going to drastically increase the latency of your website over time as more and more people start to scrape it. There's a way you can disable hot linking in your WordPress settings. It'll be in the blog post that I wrote yesterday just down below, so go ahead and give that a look through. It'll tell you how to disable hot linking. So one thing that needs a really good optimization is your homepage. So your homepage is just the face of your website. It's going to be the first thing people see when they travel to your website. And one thing that will actually very much increase the efficiency of your website is less amount of widgets, less amount of images, and just utilizing, if you do blog posts, just do excerpts. Don't do like a whole full summary where it's like leading down, and don't have a bunch of posts going down. I usually have, I think on the Your Charisma, it's like 5 to 7 is what it displays, and they always refresh depending on when you go there, like what you've seen last. But that actually, just using little experts and just using the featured image just below, it displays enough information for people to know what they're going to be looking into, but it doesn't give enough away that it doesn't over encumber the homepage that it's actually slowing it down, because the homepage is the face of your website, and if it's slow, then 9 out of 10 times the rest of your website is going to be slow, and people are just going to navigate right off that instantly. The bounce rate will be very high if you have a very slow website. And widgets are another thing. Don't over encumber your homepage with a bunch of widgets. Although they are nice, they are cool, there are some like neat ones on there. Just use the bare essentials, guys. There's nothing, you know, when people travel to your website, they're either looking for the content you display, the products you display, or just the overall feel of your website. And widgets aren't going to be a huge factor in that. They're kind of superlative. They're icing on the cake. You're looking for the meat and potatoes. You don't want to have all this extra stuff that just really doesn't do too much to help you turn a profit, you increase your ROI, you increase your leads. It's just kind of the fluff on your website. So you want to create a minimalist website that is highly efficient as well as very dense in content. And there's a vast amount of ways you can do that. There are a ton of plugins on WordPress that you guys can utilize in order to just increase the efficiency of your website, increase the speed. One thing that I want to talk to you guys about just before we sign off here is going to be lazy load. So lazy loading refers to pulling images that is only in the window of the visitor desktop. So for example, when you navigate to a website, there's going to be a fold line, and that fold line is basically where your desktop or laptop screen stops. All the images you will be able to see are going to be in that little box in your screen, and as you scroll down, those images will be called. And that's what lazy loading is there is no images down here below the fold line, but as the user scrolls up, images will be called and they'll be pulled in before the user is even getting to them, just right before. And that as a whole is going to increase the efficiency of your website, just because you're not constantly having all these images on display on all these pages. If no one's on that page, why would you have the images on there? You know, so lazy loading is just an easy, simple way to just kind of, you know, give your website just a little boost in speed. So that's going to wrap up this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and you guys need to increase the efficiency of your speed because bounce rate is really, really high now, especially for those that have very slow websites. And that's just something that you guys can fix very easily. There's so many plugins out there that you can incorporate into your website. And Google SEO ranking actually takes site speed into effect now. So if your site is slow, you might actually be losing out on ranking. You might be not ranking as high as you could. So for search engine optimization as well as just overall user feel, you guys really need to increase the efficiency of your website. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you stay tuned for the next one.